But made a good showing in that game. That was a really scary all-in attack.
It was a nice try.
We saw him do even the second attack, which he basically did it as best as he could have. He got the force field on the ramp, but even with everything kind of going his way with the force field on the ramp, with the no preparation in the main base, Pure just had too much stuff.
Yeah, he had way too much. Looks like we are going to jump into the next game, Wolf.
Indeed we are, Moonglade. Game number 3 could be the last one of this PvT. The bottom left in red for SKT. It's classic. Down 0-2. Needs to keep his nerves in check right now. There's a shot of him. He doesn't look too phased, to be honest, compared to what he sometimes looks like when he's down 0-2 in a best of 5. And up to the top right in blue. It's Cure for Chinner Green Wings.
Playing very solid so far. Holding on. He's done everything right in this matchup, and I feel like Classic is showing that this is his weakest matchup, and he's had such a bad run in recent times in this matchup, in Hot 6 Cup, in WCS, and everything, essentially. And I don't know, I feel like he is showing frustration in these games as well.
Yeah. But this is definitely something you can bounce back for, okay? But I want to say I think he can bounce back, but let's just keep in mind mentally. I want to point out, we already mentioned it once. He lost on his map pick, Deadwing. Then he did a map build that's really strong for the map. He did a Blink Stalker all-in on Catalina, and that went poorly.
Completely got scouted out as well. Like, it was his own fault letting the Reaper in like that, and scouting everything he had to, essentially, to know, okay, it is going to be a complete all-in from here. It's essentially going to be 19 probes on the minerals all-in. It's like, couldn't be more hardcore of a Blink Stalker all-in. And he reacted accordingly. And I feel like Classic, it was a little sloppy letting that happen.
Look at this, by the way.
Seems to be the trend. And yeah, this is going to be interesting.
It's going to be a proxy, I think, because this is a gas first. He sends few SCVs, one just to check for proxies, I think. Oh, no. Okay, so one's just going to go scout. The other is going to proxy himself. And
I think it might be just a...
Would a mine drop proxy?
He can kind of do what he wants at this point. He does have a couple of games to do whatever pleases. He can take chances if he wants to. And I think it will be that proxy factory.
eBay block first, though. And no scout on this. He is making a Zealot, so he should be able to check this. But if he just makes a blind Zealot and doesn't scout and cancels it, then...
that would be very awkward.
That's happened before. I think that happened in the Hot 6 Cup.
That was CJ Hero, man. Yep. He made a huge mistake like that.
Sometimes you just get into this brain mindset where you're like, okay, I just make the Zealot because that's like what the build is.
Yeah,
but
that really cost him the game too. And
okay,
he does scout it.
He does scout it. And look at that. That's like 99% on that.
Yeah.
He was at 840 out of 850 on that eBay. So that's basically the maximum health you could ever ask for. But this keeps Classic very occupied on this eBay. He's not really scouted. He's not really moved across the map. And that means that he's much less likely to figure out what's going on. Excuse me, he doesn't know it's a gas first. And he absolutely has no idea that there's a factory right outside of his main base.
Yeah, well, we do see no Marines currently being made either. I think we might see one on the low ground kind of looking for probes. But if we see the Stalker kind of poke up, he will be able to bully the front door there and kind of get an idea of what the tech is going to be. We are seeing that Widow Mine drop, by the way. This could do a lot of damage. We haven't seen the tech choice of Classic so far, except that he wants to expand very early on.
If he goes for a Stargate, for example, this could really hurt.
I feel like he could, I guess, but he was on one gas for the longest time. We are seeing go up to 150. Looks like he did add a robo. Yeah, there it is. So he will be pretty safe so long as he reacts in time to the drop.
He has to see it coming, and if he doesn't see it coming, it should definitely do some damage.
Oh, it could do critical damage.
Let's see how quickly he can react with his SCVs, or rather with his probes. The Stalker's not able to get up and see that CC isn't there, but he can reasonably assume that this is a gas first build.
He hasn't seen everything just yet.
And that's what this Mothership Core is coming up here to confirm.
Yeah, this is very smart from Fury. If he keeps it in the main base, looks like he won't though, so it should get a good scout off, and he should have a complete idea of what's going on. And that Mothership Core can actually start to bully the Marines because one of them is pretty low.
Ooh, good micro there by Cure, though. Yeah, this looks very weird. This looks very strange. And he sends all of his units back right now. He knows something is not right. Rushes out the bay.
Yeah. Well, here we go. We see two Widow Mines going to the main base.
Here we go.
Third
indeed.
one's going to be rallied to the natural, I believe.
Yep. Okay, he has no idea this is coming. Let's see how quickly he reacts.
Oh,
Instantly.
Yeah. Very, very quickly.
Nicely done. He's losing some mining time here.
Oh! That Stalker got almost too close.
And look at that. Notice he also canceled the trigger on that probe. He wants to make sure it's not wasted.
Still?
Observers here. Very patient reaction by Classic. Very well
Shuts
done.
it down so far. Imagine if he brought his probes back at the wrong... Oh, my goodness. He almost did.
He's going to try to save that second Widowmine.
I wonder where that third one went. I wonder if it actually went to the natural.
He saves it.
Just canceled it. Oh, there it is.
3 kills.
Wow. Nice. He gets something for it still. I don't know if it was really enough to warrant going for that Proxy factory.
I would argue definitely not what the damage he wanted to do, but let's see if he can transition. Right now, Classic has double Nexus much faster. Oh, what? He actually got that in it and made that work? 5 kills?
Wow, that's huge damage, actually.
What? How did that even happen?
He was just not paying attention for a second. Oh, that changes a lot.
Oh, and look
it's
at
actually worth it now. And now it's going to be a 3 Hellion drop, which is enough to one-shot probes.
That's so cool. Now, I want to point out as well that during all of this, the second he finished his first medevac, he sent his starport back. That means Zach can work on making medevacs back at home. But as long as he keeps this first medevac alive, doesn't need to move the factory. Factory could stay here and just have units ready to be picked up right away. And this 3 Hellion drop, if he ever sees the Stalker move for any reason, he could backstab with it. Looks like he's just going to go in Hail Mary like he did in game number 1 with his Hellions, but I think this could have a lot more potential for damage.
Yeah, well, he's going to see them. He's going to actually drop them out and try and run by, I believe. It's going to be a bit hard, though, with this many Stalkers.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get much done here.
Oh, not even finding one yet. He could go down the natural, trigger the photon overcharge, and then pick up. I think that would be a cool idea.
I have to say, that was pretty impressive, all things considered. His micro to save his units, fail or not, has been pretty incredible. Saving that Widowmine, sending it back in, getting those additional kills. Not getting any probe kills, but saving 2 Hellions and the medevac.
He is really applying the pressure just with the Proxy factory and just one dropship.
Or he's going to try to force that overcharge out, I believe. A little too slow on the draw there.
Oh, if he had like one more second, he could have actually found a lot more kills.
Big Marine drop here. Shouldn't do too much damage either, considering there is a Colossus. But maybe he could pick off a few probes and then just run out.
I think that might be the choice. It looks like Classic, while this is all happening, is going to just go into a casual third base eventually. Adding the Twilight, adding the Forge. He wants to play, the game that he was playing on Deadwing, essentially. Getting Blink at a later time, getting that upgrades, and while he gets Colossi.
There's a hidden Dark Shrine to the bottom right as well.
There's a bit of a mix-up.
Like that a lot. When you're ahead like this, it's definitely going to be something your opponent's not expecting, especially considering he feels like he has really good vision of your base because he keeps dropping you. And if you still don't see anything, that gets a bit weird, you know? When suddenly DTs come to your base, you're like, oh, I really had no idea. I thought I was pretty clear about what he was doing. So I like the choice to proxy this. But if the probe gets scouted here, no, he doesn't see it. Oh, maybe he will. That might give him an idea to go check that.
Maybe, If he does, that'll be brilliant. I'll have to wait and see where it's going to go. Might just pull back.
He might have been just thinking, stop you from making a third.
Same time, we do see that double drop going into the main base. Got to have a look, kind of a look at where everything is in the main base there. It looks like nothing is actually there. Blink's still only half done. 1 cannon. Oh,
he is going to check, man. He is so smart. He definitely got to read on what was going on here.
So close. 1 pixel away. Oh, that is a shame.
That's a missed scan too, so you might have wanted to pick off that observer.
Imagine the Warp Prism forced him to move forward just an inch.
Well, he wanted to warp the DTs in there actually, and then go for the drop. This is so funny. He still doesn't see it. He's so close, but not quite on the money. Now Blink is nearly done. DTs are being warped in. Is he actually gonna? Okay, I thought he was gonna show that for a second.
Wow, he could have noticed actually if he was looking at his Hellions.
Well, I want to see that production tab. I actually want to see if he's making any turrets right now. He's not. Combat shield's about to finish. That means his DTs can't one-shot Marines anymore. Look at the Viking placement, though. And that's a big quad drop gets shut down in the main base of Classic. All right, he's totally ready for this.
Oh, no. Doesn't even get put down. So
the crowd is going crazy.
He still has no idea it's DTs. He just killed the drop. He's like, okay, great.
Yeah. He'll kill the drop.
Well,
now he's going to see his first glimpse of the DTs.
Now everything is kind of shown.
And Moonglade, poor Classic, because guess what? This first DT goes down without a hitch. And the third base CC just finished before the DT got there, so he couldn't even stop that.
He's getting something done here. We are going to see another scan in a second.
There it is.
Okay, so not too much damage. 5 SCVs for 3 DTs and a War Prism. not exactly what Classic was going for.
But it does force turrets, does force Cure to be defensive. But look at that units lost tab. Really like that we get to see a shot of that from time to time because it just shows you how much he invested and the return was just not quite there.
A lot more gateways being added with this. You do see a couple of Colossi so far, but the Viking count is already getting pretty healthy.
Yeah. You just literally took the words out of my mouth, Moonglade.
I stole that line from you,
You did,
Wolf.
man. I'm like,
I stole it.
I was about to say that exact same sentence.
I know, because you said it in game 1. I'm like, I'm gonna take that.
Well, it's true, and when you keep that Viking ratio really, really good to those Colossi, you feel like you can do a lot more with your Terran army. You know, you can attack a lot more, you know, I guess aggressively without worrying about those Colossi. Just going to take this Watchtower. It's a good idea to put a DT on there. What's going to cost him big when you lose it?
Well, I mean, the more DTs you have out in the map, the more scans he's wasting before he gets to your base. Then you can potentially warp in DTs for defense. Maybe by then all the scans have been used. The less scans he has, the better, in case that situation arises.
If you're totally out of scans, you know, DTs, when you use them defensively, the Terran player is going to have to make a choice. Do I want to scan or do I just want to run away here? Because it's costing money to actually stick around and attack at that point. And if you keep scanning, what if one DT runs into your third base or something like that too while you're committing to the attack? So DTs are always a great way to keep the Terran player a little bit stressed out about how he's using his scans.
Yeah, they have to be pretty careful how they use them. They don't want to obviously scan ahead too much.
Concussive Shells in charge, finishing at the exact same moment here.
That's cute.
As these two prepare to engage. Not sure if you're willing to commit to this one. 4 Colossi, but the Vikings get to sit on here and do some free damage.
It's the same start we did see in game 1, and this time it's not going to work out. 3 Colossi survive, and all the Vikings have been killed.
Classic can be overjoyed when he sees that, man. He's going to just move forward here, chasing, targeting down Marauder after Marauder with those Stalkers, moving those Colossi in, and Cure has to leave. He can blink forward again. Cure needs to get out of here ASAP, and don't forget the upgrades for Classic can be just chrono boosted. They're about to surpass those Terran upgrades.
Nice. And Cure is just running home. He's not even trying to turn around and apply some damage to those Stalkers that are blinking forward. And another wasted scan. Very nicely done. And I think Classic's in a great position now. That was such an easy attack to defend, you know. He was in position. He was ready to deal with the Vikings. Now that he knows how Cure applies his Vikings, he just simply right-clicks down all the Colossi and hopes to get rid of them all while the fight is going on. Not really microing them at all.
As long as he keeps his Stalkers a little bit more carefully placed, you know, that's not going to work. So, we see him already adapting in this series to how Cure's playing.
Did take him a couple of games, but yeah.
Upgrade-wise, Classic is about to have a whole set advantage just for a few seconds. You might be able to utilize that. See how he decides to plan this attack. 2-2 getting very close to being done for Cure. It's not ready yet. And 4 Colossi, 2 Archons in the mix as well. Actually about to make that 3.
One thing, look at that Medivac count. There's not many Medivacs in this army either.
Yeah, so every stim really hurts.
4 Medivacs, because everything is just being essentially put into those Vikings.
55 bio units on the ground, by the way. To put that in perspective, what Moonblade's saying here, guys.
And now he has to pull the SCVs. He has to go for that fight. Looks like Classic's going to turn around.
You know, Classic hesitating here a little bit, but a good time warp. Forcing that army to stim back. Vikings getting some really good shots off, though. Yeah. All the Colossi falling down. The Archons are stuck at the back here. This actually turns out to be a much better engagement for Cure than I would have expected. Dropping the Vikings down now, where the Archons at the front are tanking so much. And with that Warp Prism, he's got a ton of reinforcement potential. And I think this might actually just be too much. It's going to be defended for now, but I think he's still got too good of a trade, and he's going to get this third base potentially. He killed a ton of SCVs. Yeah. Look at the worker count, 66 to 33.
He lost 34 SCVs, and he lost the CC as well.
Yeah, the CC just goes down.
Oh boy.
You see that look on Cure's face, like, oh wow, I thought I lifted that. I guess I didn't.
It's like that actually happened.
Yeah, that actually died. That should not have happened.
I think from this point he has to counterattack and hope that he has enough to kind of overwhelm what Classic has left.
He has a really strong army.
Army supply is in favor of Cure right now.
He still doesn't have any ghosts, on the other hand. He needs to make sure these Vikings get excellent connections on that Colossus that just popped out.
I love the DT warp in as well, because there is one less CC to kind of have enough energy for scans. So the more scans you kind of bring out, you will eventually run out.
And 3 base economy versus 2 base economy, every scan means 1 less mule.
Only one Colossi.
Yeah. And he just needs to get over there and do that damage. Warp Prism goes down, but it's not what he wanted. He wants that Colossus. Look at that Archon zoning out the Vikings. And again, one more DT. This should just be too much, I feel, for Cure. Colossus goes down. He's kiting to his heart's content. But eventually he's going to get overwhelmed. That Archon, every time he does a zap, this does way too much damage. There's only 4 medevacs here.
Yeah, I wish we had to look at the HP bars at this point, because that's been a lot of stims already. But he is whittling it down.
Stalker's chasing here with that range damage. And it looks like he's actually eventually going to hold this, but he needs a scan.
Oh, sorry, he needs a scan, not a stim. Does not need to stim at this point. He has lost so much HP.
I don't even know if he can stim anymore. There's that scan.
Finally, but there's still another DT.
He's actually traded okay with these Zealots, all things considered. 73 army supply to 44, but it's that economy of Classic that's going to allow him basically infinity Zealot warp-ins.
It's going to be very, very hard to come back from. He's going to have perfect engagement, just like he did. I mean, he's going to have to hope that Classic is going to be trying to chase his bio everywhere.
Listen, look at the gas for Cure right now, man. He needs to consider making a Raven for all the scans he's got with these DTs.
He should be making Ghosts so he can EMP, at the very least, the DTs.
Something. He needs some sort of alternate solution because he's running out of money. He's got a ton of gas, and scans are an issue here.
He is so poor. He's repairing the medivacs that he does have.
Yeah. Trying to put that gas to use somewhere.
The longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be for sure as well.
Well, 3-3's finishing. It's done. Uh-oh. That's a problem.
That is a problem. Army supply now in favor of Classic as well.
Every second that goes by when your opponent's doubling your worker supply and has more base than you is going to be problematic.
Meals are good, but they're not that good. Finally, we're seeing a turret added at that third base. Still, he's going to have to invest at least one more scan.
That Ninja DT is just waiting for the right opportunity.
Oh, this is horrible.
He might see that, though.
You can see it, but does he actually have energy? No, he does not.
Oh, that's so frustrating. All right, Classic has clawed his way back into this series. Almost a guaranteed victory for him here in game number 3. Is he going to get that turret? I think he might actually get that turret.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, okay, scan goes
very,
down.
very close. Still, I mean, look at the army supplies now. 96 to 69.
Whoa, reverse there.
Yeah, how about that? That's pretty cool. 1 Colossi. We see 4 Vikings and 2 Ghosts on the way.
DT actually escapes
Composition
right outside the turret
insanely
range.
in favor of Classic now.
Look at the 4 Archons. Tons of Immortals here with that extra support. Charge Zealots with 3/3 upgrades. He can just take this engagement however he wants. That's no planetary. That's a CC lifted from the main base.
Yeah, that's the main CC. But it
that's
looks
the
like
desperation CC right there.
He's going to try and force him out of that third base position. Though I don't think he has to. I think he can just go from both ways.
He could almost just 1A at this point. But if he holds the top of the ramp here, he cuts off reinforcements. And if you cut off reinforcements, a smaller army gets even smaller. And now he's just surrounding it, annihilating it here. No chance to survive. Cure is going to have to type out GG.
Classic. Playing a great game. Very, very solid game. Despite taking those damage. That damage early on from those Widowmine drops. Still managing to play a very, very, really impressive game. And more of what we expected from Classic, I got to say.
Yeah, that was more standard, I guess. More standard Classic. Taking that headset off needs a second here.
All right, so they do get some coach time.
Yeah, and you can see that SKT coach running saying, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of Classic I want to see. And you can see the generic coach popping in here as well. I'll talk to him just briefly. But, you know, he's still ahead in this series.
He's still in a very comfortable position. He has one game left to kind of do what he wants before he has to really start to stress. Like he has like a little bit of leeway. He probably will play a more straight-up game this time, I feel.
I don't think any proxies.
Yeah, just, you know, taking a bad fight with his Vikings